It begins with a girl named Chance, as she sits near a fire, saying she thought being born into her family was the best thing that happened to her. There were rumors about her grandfather being a monster. Some people said he was the richest man in history, but she thought he was the cheapest. The scene changes to her at a party. We do not see what happens there, though we see the aftermath of Chance lying on chairs at her school office. A lady behind a desk talks to Chance's mom, explaining that there has been an incident at school. As she talks, the cross around her neck becomes red and starts burning her. For some reason, this does not even shock her, she just takes it off like it's an unpleasant regular happening. When our view returns to Chance, we can see that the cross on the wall has become upside down. Some mystical forces are at work here. The girl lying on the chairs could very well be responsible for them. At home, Chance's mother, June, wants to know why she attacked a girl at school. Chance does not say anything. June continues by expressing amazement that she only got a one-day suspension. Shortly after, it becomes revealed that the family has strange names. The grandfather is named August, while the uncle is November. The mother, of course, is June. The moment June mentions Chance's aunt left her a birthday present downstairs, Chance rushes down there. When she enters the kitchen, her father is there, along with her sister, Luck. Her dad's name is the last month of the year, December. The present she receives is a sharp letter opener, which she instantly cuts herself with. At night, she sits alone with Luck, watching TV because their parents left for business. Chance engages in something quite bizarre by placing a tube in her stomach that is connected to a blood bag. Now we see that perhaps they could be vampires, though it is still uncertain. Soon, Chance's mom calls her to give her the upsetting news that they will have to stay the night, wherever they are at. June expects Luck to already be sleeping, and Chance lies to her that she is. On the next day, we see the injured condition of the girl that Chance attacked, while the girls occupy the same class. The girl insults Chance, adding that her dad will sue her. Chance responds with a threat that she already executed. Meanwhile, June talks to her father, August. She tells him that some of the family members are preying on weak people. What they need are souls that his father wants them to collect. At this point, we learn they are far outside of being ordinary humans. Consuming blood is one thing, but collecting souls certainly places them in the supernatural domain. As they speak, they get a phone call. The lady from school talks to June again, telling her about another incident with her daughter. After the call, Chance taunts her. The lady just accepts it. After that, June returns to her father, saying this will be their last harvest. August wants one more harvest, plus their daughter, Chance. He wants her because she is a full-blooded Sinclair, which is their family name. Once they complete that task, they will have their freedom. Now we learn they are slaves of some kind. Following the meeting, the parents pick up Chance from school. They bring her to August, just like he wanted. The girl expresses her dissatisfaction with it, but that does not help her change their mind. When the parents return home, June says they finally have their freedom. She adds that on the next harvest, they will put an end to August. We soon see how Chance moves in with her grandfather. She would rather be elsewhere. Some time later, she talks to her uncle, November. He is there with a sword. Once she tells him she can't be in the sun for more than 10 minutes, he says that is a lie. Now with the sun statement, it should be certain they are vampires. Then he tells her what being a Sinclair is all about. It's about having power and traits like loyalty. If she wants to get out of the house alive, she must learn to win. As we see Chance spending time with August, he narrates that they have gifts that others do not have. Their purpose is to make the world right. Eventually, it becomes her 18th birthday, which is also the day of the harvest. Going to the kitchen, she becomes startled upon meeting the chef. Afterward, the scene changes to Chance and Luck near the fire, which we saw at the beginning. Luck is considerably older here, making it a future event. She states that tonight has been 5,000 years in the making. It is their one attempt to take the life of August. Back at the present time, we see the chef preparing food while adding certain ingredients to it that he keeps in small bottles. Later, he comes to a skateboarder in a skate park, where he starts behaving oddly. The skater gives him an attitude, which soon escalates into a fight. However, the chef starts handling him. As he does, we see Luck holding a human heart for an unknown reason. It doesn't take long for the skater to lose his life. At this point, we learn he is something more than just a chef. What was the reason for finding and bringing an end to the skateboarder? The next scene has the chef, who is named Sydney, buying coffee at a stand. When a certain man behind him starts giving Sydney an attitude, the girl selling coffee stands up for him. It is somewhat evident she might like him. After he has his coffee, Sydney listens to the radio, which states the skateboarder was found lifeless. The skater was connected to several murders. It isn't exactly clear yet, but it seems as listening to it is intentional. Sydney was waiting to hear it. At his job, a lady comes to him to let him know that her boss is a fan of his work. She is Mickey, who wants to give him a job for one day. That will give him more money than his current job could provide in 1 year. Sydney's boss, Freddie, makes her leave. On the next day, Sydney goes to the coffee girl again, whose name is Adelaide. She calls him Mr. Two Black Coffees, because that's what he always gets. Adelaide wants to know why he always comes there, because she thinks their coffee is bad, but he doesn't answer her. The other girl who works there, Dakota, seems to know that they like each other. At work again, Freddie wants him to run when Mickey comes in. However, he doesn't do it. After her, the Sinclair family enters. A man yells for everyone to get out, causing the people to leave. Once they are alone, the family shows him some biological substances. He instantly tells them what they are, but it doesn't stop there. He then talks about a certain poisonous substance on an expert level, even giving the exact amount of time it will take to take someone down. June wants him to cook for them and poison the host, her father. They threaten to bring great harm to Freddie if he declines the job. Just in case that wasn't enough, June threatens to also harm the girls at the coffee stand. At that moment, Sydney agrees to take the job. Eventually, the Sinclairs arrive at August's place with Sydney. August greets the chef, who compliments the magnificence of the wealthy man's house. Alone with him, August jokingly asks if he is there to poison him. Since it was a joke, Sydney does not answer. He says his father taught him to cook, but also considered Sydney an embarrassment to the family. August's father said the same about him. After that, he takes the chef inside to go over what they will eat. Meanwhile, Mickey talks to Freddie. We discover they have known each other for a respectable amount of time. She tells him she's doing this because she could become part of the family. Regarding Sydney, Freddie says he met him at a homeless shelter. He says he was a great fighter. Mickey tells him that he and Sydney have been poisoning their unwanted customers. She seems to know a lot about the chef somehow, even knowing about the coffee girls. Soon enough, she notices November outside. He possibly destroys another man for telling him to not bother a small girl. When he enters their room, Freddie shoots him. We don't see the result, but it's unlikely that the gunshot ended him. Another Sinclair appears as well, Chance's Aunt May. We now return to the scene where Chance meets the chef. She thinks he is a stranger, but soon learns about him. Once she starts touching the food, Sydney loses control and yells for her to put it down. Yet she eats a sprout out of revenge. This causes June to scold her. Alone with the girl, Sydney asks what kind of entities they are. When she tells him she needs daily blood transfusion, he tells her she is a vampire. She has been lied to. However, she doesn't believe him, saying they're just rich and weird. Now we learn she doesn't even know she belongs to a family of vampires. How were they able to keep something like that a secret from her for so long? Following that, June comes to Sydney. He questions her how he can poison a man who knows he will be poisoned. June assures him that her father doesn't suspect it. At that point, the chef is curious to know what August did to deserve this. June offers the answer that August thinks family is another word for slave. Sydney suggests that to save her daughter, she should run. But that is not something June does. It's not in her nature. Returning to his main point, the chef assures the parents that August knows he is getting poisoned. If she is wrong, June says Sydney should try his best to leave. Then Chance enters to ask if they are vampires. June wants to answer her after dinner. During mealtime, the family sits at the decorated table. August gives a toast to June in December. Before eating the appetizer, he calls in the chef to have a taste of the meal. He makes sure that he eats from his plate. It becomes evident at this time that August is mindful of the poison he might receive. So Sydney takes a bite, which does not end his life. Yet he will be called again. He comes to Chance in the other room, asking her why her name is not the name of a month. She informs him that her grandfather thinks such names are a Sinclair tradition. She does not want to belong to its tyranny. As she says this, Sydney sees the family sit with towels over their heads. Some luminous substance starts floating up. The chef tells Chance to run. She doesn't want to do it, so he hides her. Afterward, the family removes their towels. August gives June his food, which she eats. He asks her if she tried to poison him because she thinks he's a weak leader. June stands to say that House Sinclair is dying. She scolds some members for engaging in indecent activities. However, she can bring prosperity along with happiness. She cannot do it, though, with August running the family. Her husband is the only one who stands by her statement. August replies that he was fair with her. When May says she visited Mickey and Luck, June cries. At that point, December throws a dagger at August, but misses. August puts a quick end to the riot. After threatening to take December to hell, he says they will dine on the traitors tonight. The scene shifts to the future, at the fire. There, Luck tells Chance what August did to their dad. He removed his tongue because their father asked to be free from the curse. Chance wants to know why they did not see what they were. Back in the present, the family eats, while Sydney is bound. Dakota is there with him. He tells her they think he likes her, though he does not. She gives him the negative news that Adelaide thinks he's a creep. This seems to upset him. Dakota thinks she got away. Soon enough, April comes in. She tells Sydney that only 3 things can destroy them. They are sunlight, silver, and arch hemlock. She also says they cull the damned. To those words, Sydney wants to know how making a mother eat her child is culling the damned. He heard that is what August made June take part in. The situation becomes worse as April brings them to August. Sydney tells the man he never ended people for pleasure. He follows by asking why August had to destroy a child. The man tells him a seed from a bad tree is never good. Then Sydney says he wants Dakota to be set free, and he doesn't want to be a Sinclair. Subsequently, a surprise gets presented to the chef in the form of Freddie. August places him in a challenging moment by saying he has to eliminate 3 trials for Dakota to be free. Freddie is his first trial, someone who Sydney does not want to harm. But August starts revealing the ugly truth about his boss. He says Freddie got paid by sending bad customers for Sydney to poison. The chef was used by him. Next, August tosses a knife on the floor. At that moment, Sydney must be thinking about whether those statements are true. If they are, would he get rid of his boss? Yet he doesn't need to think further. because Freddy picks the knife up to start attacking him. Sydney turns the situation around by stabbing the man with that knife. The scene shifts to Chance hiding in the closet. She turns the light on, which seems to transport her to the future near the fire. Turning it off brings her back. Naturally, she becomes very confused as to what happened. May looks for her, but Chance surprises her aunt by slamming her. She follows by blinding the lady before running. However, the girl does not run for long. May manages to capture her and deliver the girl to August. There they give her the awful news that her family was devoured. Being very upset, she states she will never be like them. To become free, all she has to do is terminate Dakota. This interests the girl, so she initiates the fight. However, despite her being a vampire, Dakota manages to cut her. Once Chance falls to the floor, she appears elsewhere. It is the place with the older Luck. She magically places a sword in her hands to make Chance feel safer. Yet Chance still feels unsafe and starts running away. Though in this place, wherever they are, there is no such thing as escape. Chance comes back from the other side, which her sister anticipates. The place they're in is magical, some sort of limbo state, not the future. Chance soon discovers that she lost her life, and the girl before her is Luck. The entire family seems to have lost to August. Their plan to bring him down did not work. Luck seems to have learned a lot while stuck in this unknown area. It is also uncertain for how long she's been here. So the girl educates her sister about who the family really are, vampires. Back at the mansion, Adelaide is brought in. Once Sydney is given a knife, he experiences a difficult moment. He seems to be losing his mind. August wants to know if he's ready to join the family. The chef nods his head, but the vampire wants to give him a hero's execution. They take him outside where he starts counting. This confuses them. After they all start feeling bad, we realize Sydney's plan is working. Whatever he did, they are now suffering. At that point, August grabs him by the neck while being demonic. But that doesn't last, he soon falls. April comes to him and says they were meant to put an end to monsters, not become them. After those words, she delivers a final stab. Later, April asks Sydney why she's still alive. It is because she didn't eat June. Sydney poisoned Chance's parents, knowing August would eat them. Outside, the chef meets Adelaide, the girl he likes. She calls him Mr. Two Black Coffees. He tells her, at last, what his name is. To that, she responds she had a brother with that name. Asking her what happened to him, she mentions a fire taking place long ago. He seems to know that no one was home when it happened. This creates a very awkward situation, making Adelaide look at him. Sydney starts nodding his head, perhaps an acceptance of what this could mean. If he is her brother, what will they do now? Luck narrates that Sydney's actions saved everyone. He was forged to carry out this job. Later, in the limbo state, Luck tells her sister she made a deal with higher powers. Since Sydney was robbed of his first 24 years of life, she got those years to give to Chance. Luck doesn't want to go back because she claims to have seen too much. Chance, however, does not think she deserves it. After Luck tells her that she loves her, Chance gets reanimated. Her eyes are a bright blue. It is uncertain how she will go on living now, with her entire family no longer with her. Maybe she might start doing what they were meant to do, culling the damned.